Hey artists, it is Fibers Week. Fiber arts is one of my very favorites. I am so excited. Fibers are things that have tiny little pieces and they're put together. Usually when you think about fibers, you think about fabric and yarn. There are all different kinds of things that people can make out of fibers, like baskets, clothing, hats, scarves, rugs, all different types of things. Fiber arts can be functional, meaning you can make something that you can use, or it can just be for the art purposes. Fiber arts have been passed down for thousands and thousands of years from generation to generation. Something that I have near and dear to my heart is I have a lot of family members that have made some fiber arts. I bet some of you probably have the same thing. So something that has been made from my family is my mother-in-law, and you guys have actually seen these before, is Mrs. and Mr. Paintbrush and Mr. Pencil, and they are crocheted. So I'm going to hold it up so you can see the pattern. They are crocheted from one piece of yarn, and she used a crochet hook. Something else that she has also crocheted for me is my Yoshi. Again, it is all made from a crochet hook and a piece of yarn. Super cool. My grandma is actually a pretty cool knitter too, and so she has knit, which is a little different than crocheting, but all kinds of things. So I have a scarf, and I have a hat. It is a nice fluffy winter beanie. You can see the different patterns. I also have a sweater. This was not made by my grandmother, but this is store-bought, but I bet some of you have some knit things. So it's got a really cool pattern. I've got all kinds of stuff. Let's see what else I can find. Okay, so I found something else. Check this out, guys. So I found a hat that has been woven, that is woven. See how they go over, under? That's a really cool weaving pattern. So something else that I just found is now with our Corona and the COVID, people are making face masks. So this is actually made out of fabric. It is sewn. It has a pocket. This is actually made by my mother-in-law, again, the same one who made the Yoshi. So this is something that is actually pretty functional that people are making nowadays. Okay, so I found something else. I actually found two things. I have a basket of blankets, and the basket itself is a woven basket, but the blanket that is in my basket was actually hand knit by my grandmother. It's very intricate. It was actually a wedding gift, so it's actually something that's super, super special to me. So some of you might have seen this from some other of my videos. It's a wall hanging weaving. This one was actually store-bought, but this is just like some that I actually make. One last thing I wanted to show you is actually not in my house at all. This is actually in my sister's house in Gainesville, but I want you to look at this little wall hanging. So this wall hanging is actually a weaving that I have also made. I always think that it's important that if I have you guys create art, that you see the art that I've created, and this is one thing that I have gifted to another family member. All right, that was super awesome. I'm gonna show you one more thing though, something about Mrs. House. Something that I always keep next to my chair or my couch is this big old bucket of yarn. I've got all kinds of yarn, and I actually have been working on weaving, which is what we are making this week. Does anybody remember what this is called? It is a loom. Say loom. Loom is what is going to hold our weaving together. I only have half of my loom used right now because I'm just making a small wall hanging. I want you to look closely so you can see all the different patterns of my weaving. I've got all different kinds of stuff going on. But the loom has a couple of different parts. So it has the up and down strings. Those are called warp. Say warp. Then it also has the side to side. That is called weft. Say weft. Okay, so we have the loom, the up and down are called warp, and the side to side are called weft. All right, guys, we're gonna make our own weavings today. If you don't have the supplies, I bet you could find some other things to weave with. You could use things like cut up strips of plastic bags or paper bags. You could use cut up cereal boxes. You could use big leaves and twigs and sticks. You could take an old t-shirt that doesn't fit anymore, maybe it's stained, and cut that up. There's all kinds of things that you can use. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna make our paper weaving out of paper. Obviously, paper weaving is paper. You need one full sheet of paper, and then you need another sheet of paper that has been cut into strips. Now, if you don't have any colorful paper like what I've got in front of me, you can see what my colorful strips look like. That was actually a piece of paper that I painted all over, and then I cut it up. You could paint it with watercolor, you could color it with markers or crayons, or even use the paint that we homemade last week. Get creative. Before you can begin weaving, you have to make your loom. So I'm gonna take my piece of paper. It's gonna be up and down. I'm gonna take the short end and go ahead and fold it up so it meets the other short end. So I don't wanna go this way, but I'm gonna go short end to short end. Go ahead and fold yours now. If you need to pause the video while you're working, you can. I can open my paper up and I know that it has a folded end and an open end. A folded end and an open end. I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna cut my warp strings on the folded side. So do I put my scissors here? No. How about here? No. How about here? No. How about on this side? Yes. However, we're gonna start on the edge. I'm gonna start about 2 fingers in. So should I start here? Probably not. How about here? No. How about here? Yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and cut all the way up until I get about 2 fingers to the top. So I'm gonna cut, 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 and stop. But I don't want to go any further than that, because if you go any further than that, you're gonna cut yourself apart. I just wanted to say hi. All right, I'm gonna go about 2 fingers over again. So here, nope. How about here? Nope, too skinny. How about here? Probably not. How about here? Yeah. I want to go up so it's about the same length as that first one. And did I go up far enough? No, I did not. So I'm gonna go all the way up and stop. And I'm gonna stop right there. All right, one more time. I'm gonna start my scissors here. Nope. How about here? Not quite. How about here? Too small. How about here? Yeah, that looks good. And stop. Nice. And I'm gonna continue on until I get all the way and stop. Now I still have about 1 more cut I could make. And stop. When you're all done with your loom and you open it up, it should look like this. So you should have these big long strips that are still all connected, but they're cut in the middle. If you open up your loom and it looks like this, and it looks like some crazy hair, that means that you didn't cut from the folded side, you cut from the open side, and you're gonna need a new piece of paper and start over. So back up the video and restart it. If your loom looks like this, you are good to go and ready to start weaving. Now I need my weft. Those are the ones that are gonna go side to side. So I took a piece of paper, painted the whole thing, just some pretty colors. I didn't make it a different picture, I just made it some pretty colors. And I went ahead and cut them up. So I'm gonna use them as my weft strings. Remember, you don't have to use paint, you can use colors, you can use anything you want. You can even use ribbon, you could use leaves, you could use sticks, twigs, anything that you can find. They're about the length of your paper. So we're gonna weave in a pattern. So I want you at home to say it out loud with me. Parents, you should hear them say this. Say it with me, ready? So we're gonna go over, under. Our next pattern is over and then under. Say it with me. Over, under. Push it all the way down. Very nice. All right. Our next one. Our first one started with over, so our next one is going to start under. So say it with me. Under, over, under, over, under, over. Push it all the way down. Very nice. All right, let's look at our next pattern. So it goes over, under. What comes next? Over, under, over, under, over, under. Push it all the way down. All right, let's look at our pattern. Over, under, over. So the next one should be over or under. If you said under, you are correct. Under, over, under, over, under, over. Push it all the way down. All right, we are almost done with our weaving. So awesome. Over, under, over, under. So our next one should be over or under. What do you think? If you said over, you are so smart. Very nice. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Push it all the way down. It really helps if you say it out loud while you're weaving, so I should hear you nice and loud. All right, let's look at our pattern over here. Over, under, over, under, over. So our next one should be over or under. What do you think? I think it should be under. Very nice. Under. You know what? I'm actually gonna grab a bigger one because I have one big space. So I'm gonna go under, over, under, over, under, and over. Push it all the way down. If you flip it over, this is kind of the magic part. You can see your weaving on the back. Now I don't have this part painted, so it doesn't have as pretty of a pattern, but it should have that nice checkerboard pattern. If you can see big strips of paper and strips of this, that means that you didn't switch the pattern on this side. If you wanted to turn this into a rug and add some little yarn this way, you could do that. You could add maybe a head and some feet and make it into an animal. You could just hang it on your wall. There's all kinds of things you guys can do. Air high five on the weaving. You guys did an awesome job. So proud of you. Can't wait to see your weaving.